Hello, church. We are starting the book of Revelation today for our daily Bible reading. So starting in chapter 1. Now, this book can be confusing. There's lots of symbols and imagery and prophecies, right, of what is going to come in the future. We need to remember, though, as we're reading this, that this was addressed to the first century church. So this had more immediate meaning to them. And we're going to see, I think, that Jesus, through speaking to John here, his hope is to give them, or his plan is to give them hope in the face of the persecution and the suffering that they're facing, that ultimately Jesus will come back and will fix everything and will bring justice accordingly as everything moves forward. And so as we're reading this book, as with most of the Bible, we are kind of reading other people's mail. And so this is, once again, directed to the first century church. It has application, has truth for us, but we need to, I think, before we get to just looking at how and try to make time charts and tables to figure out when Christ is going to come back, we need to look at this in light of the initial original audience that got this in the first century. And one of the things that kind of stands out to me, and we often, I think, overlook in the very beginning first few verses, is this fact from verse 3, right? This is a promise that Jesus gives to John and to everyone who follows after him. So, blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of this prophecy, and blessed are those who hear and who keep what is written in it, for the time is near. Right? So Christ is coming back, the time is near, and you are blessed if you read aloud this prophecy. If you've been with us, we've been trying to do that through several of our books with James and Luke, reading these passages out loud. And so my challenge as you're doing your daily Bible reading is to try to read the book of Revelation out loud as you do it. Again, that's the promise we have here, right? This word aloud is written. So let's read it aloud and be blessed by God. But just as the book of James says, it's not just hearing the word or just by reading the word. We need to be doers of the word. And so that's what we're going to see in the upcoming chapters, that we need to do what God is calling us to do. And that's what Jesus is calling these churches to do, right? The first kind of section is Jesus' postcards, these short little letters to 7 churches, telling them what they did right and what they did wrong and what they need to fix. So there's actions that need to be involved. The next thing is you're hopefully reading this book out loud for the next several days as we read through one chapter a day, is look how Jesus is described in verses 13 through 16. These descriptions will come again in the next couple chapters as reinforcements of who Jesus is. So once you guys reading out loud verses 13 through 16, try to picture in your mind's eye, this is what Jesus, the resurrected Jesus, is looking like to John. And I think it's a lot different than the flannelgraph and even the movies we watch of the depiction of Jesus, right? Jesus. And so, once again, my encouragement is read this book out loud and let's see what Jesus is described as how he's reigning now in his glorified body. All right, church, have a great day.